Eye candy from Consumer Safety Institution, the Netherlands, 2001. Okay, let's kick off this video with a mildly scary PSA courtesy of Consumer Safety Institution from the Netherlands. This PSA shows a bunch of household products that look like candy. Shaving cream, soft soap, mothballs, bleach, shoe polish, firelighters, sleeping pills, and painkillers, all while there's creepy soft music playing in the background. Then it explains if you can't tell the difference between these products and candies, then how are your children supposed to? And it explains that 2,800 children were seriously poisoned from these household products. This to me is the most seen PSA on this countdown, but it is still pretty creepy, especially with the background music. Hell, even I couldn't tell if it was household products or candy. The soft soap looks like Jello. The shaving cream looks like whipped cream. The shoe polish and firelighters look like white chocolate with a dark chocolate coating. And the pills look like Smarties. So I would say it is pretty effective and it makes you think about your kids' safety. Biggie Bear PSAs. In these PSAs we were introduced to Biggie Bear, played by South African comedian Rob Van Vuren. As it starts out like a preschool show, and it turns into something well insane. In the first PSA, Biggie Bear says hello. Biggie's interrupted by Mr. Rabbit and tells him not to come by the garden anymore. When Mr. Rabbit didn't leave, Biggie starts beating him with an inch of life, leading to Biggie pulling out a weapon and putting it in Mr. Rabbit's mouth, threatening him in the process. Biggie then off-screen pulls the trigger and kills Mr. Rabbit. Yup, that happened. In the second PSA, Biggie Bear's surprised. Biggie meets his friend Mr. Spotty, who is very depressed. So Biggie decides to help his depressed friend by pulling out some liquid, heating it up, and putting it in the syringe. That liquid was heroin. Mr. Spotty asked if it was safe, as Biggie said that everyone was doing it. Biggie then injects Mr. Spotty with the syringe, full of heroin, and leaving him in a very high state, and it gets crazier. In the final PSA, Biggie Bear makes a friend. Biggie meets someone new in the garden, Miss Pussycat, and they pretty much hit it off. Soon it turns erotic between them and it ends with Biggie having rough and very forced you-know-what with Miss Pussycat. Basically, these messages end with what are your children learning from watching TV? And it helps teach what is appropriate for children to see on TV. These PSAs didn't send the message clear, not to mention they are so wild. It can be hilarious. It is a bit scary with the killing, drug use, and rough. You already know. But let me know what you guys think right in the comments about these PSAs. For number 5, we go from South Africa to Canada with this horror-style youth PSA courtesy. We see a kid at a locker as someone was watching him. Once the kid closes the locker door, he sees a very creepy puppet-like version of him. The puppet version of him talks about how the boy failed his test, proceed to badmouth him, including what his dad is going to think of it, how he is useless and that he should drop out. As during this, the puppet turns into a very scary troll-like creature. It ends with the troll telling the boy that he was a joke, and Kid helped from telling us to not let our problems get out of hand and contact them. I have to say, for a PSA not based on work safety or drunk driving, it is pretty effective and the special effects are really good. The monster has a very Chucky-like voice to him, and its scariness is decent. And most important, its strong message that you are not alone. time to head back to the Netherlands with another PSA from Consumer Safety Institution. This time around we are looking at fire safety, and how unpredictable the speed of fire can be, using a very tragic example. To go into further details, this PSA looks at a cigarette burning in an ashtray, while we are shown footage of quite honestly one of the biggest tragedies in soccer history, the Bradford City Stadium fire. If you don't know what the disaster was, on May 11th, 1985, during the match between Bradford City and Lincoln City, a man finished his cigarette and tried to stomp it out, only for the cigarette to slip into a hole in the floorboard. He saw a plume of smoke come out, and he and his son poured coffee on it, hoping it was put out. But the fire wasn't put out, and thanks to the wind, the pile of garbage that was collected, and the wooden materials, the fire got out of control, as everyone was panicking to get out. In the end, the fire ended up killing 56 people and resulted in legal action because of the disaster. But let's get back to the PSA. We are shown two screens, one of a cigarette burning in an ashtray, and the other showing the stadium fire. In the first 10 seconds, we are seeing a small fire happening in the stadium. At the 90-second mark, the fire in the stadium started to grow bigger. At the 3.5-minute mark, the fire spread further as people start to frantically leave the bleachers. At the 5.5-minute mark, we are at the point where people were running on the field to avoid the flames. At the almost 8-minute mark, we are shown the bleachers engulfed in flames, while the cigarettes is still burning in an ashtray. We are then told by the text that the speed of fire can be unpredictable and to take precaution. I have to say this is a great PSA, and sometimes real life examples tend to make some pretty powerful and scary PSAs. It is pretty scary to see how a simple cigarette can cause a disaster like that, and to make us think how scary the speed of fire can get. It is a pretty scary PSA, using actual footage. Alright, it's time to head across the ocean and head to Poland with a very short but very impactful anti-smoking PSA from the Ministry of Health. It starts with someone lighting up a cigarette, and then it transitions from a lit cigarette to a lit candle on a tombstone, implying that the smoker has died. Then we get a tagline in Polish meaning, "Have a smoke," and it ends. Poland definitely went dark with this PSA. It might be short, but it was impactful as smoking can lead to an early grave, which is true. Overall, I think this PSA was good, and I love the atmosphere, and it does leave an impact on smoking and your health. Time to head to a country known for absolutely terrifying anti-drug PSAs, Singapore. But this time, it is a speeding PSA from 1999 courtesy of Road Safety Council. The PSA is simple, with someone doing the classic hand on a table and a knife stabbing around the fingers as the speed increases. It ends with the knife being violently stabbed into the counter and the hand being pulled away fast, as we get a simple message: "Don't speed," at the end. I have to say, while not the most violent PSA on the list, it is definitely one of the most intense ones, due to the fact you are afraid of the knife stabbing that hand. But to me the message was clear: as you increase the speed, the likelihood of injury or death might happen, so slow down. This PSA from the home of Lucha Libre Wrestling, Mexico. From Foundation Michu and Mao, we are shown a rubber duck floating in a bathtub full of water, while this very creepy music is playing. Then this child narrator tells us that 90% of child burns are caused by boiling water and oil, while the duck turns around and one side shows off these nasty burns. As this was happening, the narrator tells us to be careful and protect these children from harm, ending the PSA with a shot of the burned duck. I have to say this is a pretty scary PSA, thanks to the music and the image of a burned rubber duck, but I think it's pretty effective, especially for child safety. What's crazy is this PSA aired from 2004 to 2018, 14 years. I'm pretty sure several kids got nightmares from seeing this during that long time period, but let me know what you guys think down here in the comments. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. This was CREEPSHOW, and I wish you all a good scare.